Welcome everybody back to Boost Emotion, and today I'm going to do something a little different. I had a few subscribers ask, how can they possibly get into a lease, and maybe just pretty much give them some information so that they don't walk into this not knowing what to do. So I actually have a lease agreement that I signed for my 2015 Q50 that I'm going to use. I blocked a lot of the information out, so, I don't want to run into any problems with Infiniti. But I'm going to disclose a lot of information, so y'all will be kind of familiar to the paperwork that you might have to sign. So let's just get right into it. All right, everybody. So I have a lease in front of me. Of course, it's for a 2015 Infiniti Q50, but I blotted out like the dealer information, my information, and, just so I don't have any copyright infringement or anything that they won't come and beat me up about. But this is for an old lease that I had before, my 2015 Q50. So let me just jump right into it. You have different type of leasings, or whatever the case might be. You have money down leases, you have no money down leases, and then you have a true no money down leases. So some leases may sit there and say, hey, listen, we want $5,000 down and you pay this amount of money per month, right? Then you have leases such as the one I'm going to explain to you here, where it's a no money down lease. Now, just because it says no money down doesn't mean that you still don't pay taxes and other dealer fees. So in most cases, these leases that says no money down, you still have to pay taxes and other dealers fees and other dispositions and everything like that. And then you have the no money down give you the key leases, where they take all that taxes and everything and you literally pay for that within the monthly payment. So those are the three type of leases. But to get back into it, this lease was the no money down, but I still have to pay for the taxes. So let's just jump right into it. All right. It says amount due at signing. That's a total of your first month's payment. It shows you the amount of months remaining. I agreed on $400, and I pay for that every 16th. Now it says the total of your monthly payments is $15,561, right? That is the 39 months added up on top of the taxes you paid, which will give you your total amount of payments for the 30-month lease with the taxes and all the fees will be $18,268. So that means for 39 months with taxes and all the payments, I would probably pay about $18,000, $268 for a 39-month lease agreement. But they also charge you a disposition fee. Sorry for not really looking too much, but that's something that they charge, whatever the case might be. Now, there's other stuff that they break down into the agreement that I'm not too familiar about, so I know you guys are going to probably troll me about it, and some of y'all are probably salesmen. But you have the capital cost reduction, your first months, your registration fees. I had purchased this car in New York, so I guess that's the registration fee. The sales tax paid in advance, which I chose to pay. I didn't have to pay the sales tax in advance. I really didn't have to. I could have tried to roll it into the payment, but I chose not to. Then the acquisition fee and document fee. Sometimes I've been told that some of this stuff could be a lot cheaper, and sometimes you don't have to pay. It all depends on your negotiating skills. Tire fee, other acquisition fee, inspection fee, and it just goes you the total of that. That comes to $27.71. So $27.71 is what I paid out the door to get the key for this Q50 at that time for that deal. Let's move on to the next part. Now you have something called gross capitalization cost. So the car was $41,000. Now this deal I could have this deal was pretty much marked off as, listen, this is what it is, no money down, take it as it is. But understand that gross capitalization cost could always be negotiated down. It's pretty much how much the car costs. You can definitely negotiate that down for other lease deals because nobody really signs off a car for $45,000. The dealer usually brings down the cost of the car maybe about 5 to 10% just so they can lower your payments for you. They give money off the top. They want to sell you the car. It helps them out. They really make a lot of their money on leasing and or financing the car because they still make the money back on top of that in the long run. So one of my recommendations is if you're going to lease, always try to negotiate the price down, whatever their starting point is, because if they tell you $500 a month after first go and you know you got good credit, you ain't coming in there with negative equity, say, listen, my payments is this, I want 4 or 410. Always go for a lower number. The negotiation should go back at least 2 to 3 times for them to try to get as close as possible to the number that you're looking for. Once again, you see the $338. They have the residual cost. That's with the $3 taken off. And the 2774 is let me just back it up. 2774 is what the remaining price of the cars, because remember, when you lease the car, the 18 is going to come off the 41, so that's going to be the remaining cost of the car after you pay the top of the lease. So that's how much the buyout price is. Now they're going to show you again the 1578 and the 1542. Oh, let me just turn it back up. 1542. I don't know what this rental charge is, and don't really know what that is. The total base monthly payments, and also once again the first month's payment and everything they add up there. So, for me to briefly explain, whatever you totally pay, what you agreed to pay for in the 39 months, whatever the remaining price of the total cost of the car is with the lease payments and everything taken off, that's what you can choose to buy out the car for. That stuff could still be negotiated depending on the dealer you go to, depending on the deal. So some cases people will start, let's say this car is $41,000. Let's say if I would have chose to negotiate it down to about $35,000, but I still paid $400 a month, my total payment could have probably been $19,000 to $20,000 to buy it out. So always know that stuff is an option for you. Everything's not set in stone when it comes to the leases. Let's go to the second page. You have the early termination. It tells you the information. It also tells you the agreed upon miles. You might notice that sometimes the mileage might be 8, sometimes the mileage might be to 15,000. So understand if you're paying cheaper per month for a lease deal and you're getting more miles, you're actually getting a great deal. Because in my case, it's 10. That's like normal. But if I was getting like 12 to 15,000 a year and I'm only paying 400 at this time, that would be a great deal. It tells you how much it is to charge if you go over the mileage and everything, 25 cents per mile. Once again, it says purchase option at the end of the lease, 25,774. Also, there's other option fees and stuff to purchase it. Once again, they show the total price of the car again. The residual is what you pay at the end of the lease. And they go through agreed upon value of the car at 41. That's why I told you guys, you can negotiate that down. And it shows you the total cost, all the warranties and other stuff that you check off or whatever the case might be. Estimated fees. Don't know what this 16, let me back it up. Estimated fees and taxes. And other optional stuff that you might choose when a lifetime credit, life insurance, disability insurance, mechanical breakdown, other little things that you might choose to opt up for. But that was just a simple breakdown of what majority of the Infiniti leases are. But to be honest, when it comes to any other leasing, it's going to be similar to this. My recommendation for me doing, this is the second time me doing it, is know what you're willing to pay per month, okay? I'm telling you that, guys, know what you're willing to pay per month. All right, so let me use a prime example here. Let's say, guys, you're making about, let's say, $2,000 per month after taxes with your job, whatever you do, right? And based on this deal, my percentage, and what I do, the rule of thumb I follow is my lease and or car note should not, with insurance, should not be more than a quarter to a third of my income. That's just the way I am. So if I make $2,000 after taxes, my lease and insurance should be no more than $500. That's just the rule of thumb that I use. If you guys want to try it out. Because I don't know, everyone's living situation might be a little different. Mine's, I don't want it to be no more than a quarter. So in this deal, it's about $400 a month, and my car insurance at this time was about $150. So in total, I was spending about $550 with taxes, with a car note and insurance. So I want you guys to apply that to y'all lifestyles too. Everyone makes a different amount of money in the spectrum. And to be honest, guys, if not necessarily adding to just Infinitis, but there you have Hyundai and Kias and other Fords that are a little cheaper, about $200, $300 a month, to $100 a month. And depending on your income, it doesn't necessarily mean that you cannot get a new car. There's people out there who make about $1,000 to $1,500 a month after taxes. And you could go, that have decent credit. You could go to Hyundai, Kia, Ford, and possibly get one of the smaller cars. That's about $150 a month, and the insurance about $100 on top of that. So just know your law of percentages and what you're willing to pay. Because if you don't know what you're willing to pay, these dealers will rape you. Remember, everything's about money. They don't really care about you. They care about that money, the dinero. You know what I'm saying? So I knew what I was willing to pay, And in this case, it worked out really good for me in this deal. Because what I also gonna recommend is try to find a no money down option. I know it's hard to find out when you go in higher tier level of car market, you're gonna deal with more expensive cars. They're gonna, like, BMW is gonna want money down. They barely have a zero money down option for most of their cars. But for a lot of the less cheaper brands, you're gonna find the no money downs. So always try to find a less money down or zero money down options, because if you drive that car off the lot and it gets totaled, like right there on the corner, total, like truck, you live, but totals the car. Whatever money you put down, let's just say, for instance, $5 grand, you're not getting that money back. You're always going to pay taxes no matter what. If you don't choose to pay taxes now, you're going to pay taxes in when you do your taxes every year. They're going to get you back. But when it comes to money down without taxes excluded, you'll never get that money back if that car is total. So that's why it's best to try to find a no money down option where you don't have to put up no money up front to get these lease deals. From also my experience, there's other little options they may add on top of it. What I would recommend too is, if you're going to look into leasing, make sure that insurance company or the manufacturer has gap insurance included. Gap insurance is the pretty much a safety mechanism in a way that, let's just say this car is $41,000, right? But once you buy or lease a car, its value goes down right as you drive it off the lot. So I could have signed it for 41, but once I got off the dealer's lot, right, it could have been worth 37 with 17 miles on it. Now let's say someone would have totaled the car right then and there. If I didn't have gap insurance, I would owe Infiniti $4 grand. Yes, that exists. It doesn't make any sense. It's not fair, but it's something that really exists. So this gap insurance pays out that difference between how much the car really costs and how much you owe. So always look into those things. And, those are really just small necessities that I think y'all guys should really look at. I'm going to pretty much end the video here. If you want to hear more about leasing and maybe just to ask a bit more questions about maybe how it is when it comes to trading in a car and getting a lease, or trading a lease to lease, because I've done both of those options too. All right. But once again, this is your guy at Boost Emotion. Let you know, I appreciate you guys' time. I hope I gave you a little bit of knowledge. Maybe if you want to look into leasing a car, I don't know, it doesn't have to be only Infinitis, but it could be any car that you're looking to lease in. And I just appreciate your time, man. Thank you so much. If you like this video, like it. If you dislike it, it's all right. I understand. Leave some comments below. And I appreciate y'all. Subscribe, and hit that bell. Thank you, guys. Good day.